Algebra half, lesson 24 is not about the U.S. customary system. It'll be about what's called the metric system. Another way to measure things like mass, like distance, like volume, but not using feet and inches like our U.S. system. Because of some translation thing, I think it's French, you could also call it the international system, abbreviated SI, because of something French. So the SI system, or the international system, is also the metric system. Makes sense. International, other countries, the whole world, they pretty much all use metric. And the beauty of it is its simplicity. It's so basic. You hardly even need unit multipliers because all you're really ever doing is moving the decimal point a set number of places. And that's what this and the page 82 table is attempting to show you, that really all that changes is where the decimal is and the prefix. Base unit here, maybe meters, we could say. So we're measuring distance, and that's 10 to the 0 power. It's just what it is. It's just 1. But then times 10, 10 to the first power, is the decameter. And you go 1,000 times, it's now the familiar kilometer. And there's even megameters and terameters and ones we don't use so much. Now, what if we move the decimal point to the left? Divide by 100. To the power of -2. That's right here, the familiar centimeter. And then 1,000 is millimeter. So millimeter is the mirror to kilometer on the positive end. So keeping straight which way the decimal point goes, sometimes maybe something that might get people, but this table really makes it easy. All you're doing is moving that decimal. So 1 centimeter. What's great about the one in the book is it even shows, how many to the 10th, instead of like this with a negative power of, it'll show it as 1 over 100 to the base unit. And that's base unit is meters again. And you could think of this as kind of a unit multiplier, because we would have a centimeter up here and it would get crossed out with this one, and then we'd end up with 1 over the 100, the conversion rate. And if you wanted to do this on your calculator, you would see that the decimal point has effectively moved 2 spots, 1 for each 0, right? It used to be over here, 1, 2. So we've converted simply by moving the decimal point. It's always a power of 10, whether it's negative or maybe, or not negative, but division, or maybe you're making it bigger by multiplying by a power of 10. Convert example 24.1. 528 centimeters to meters. Now we're going to be getting bigger. The decimal point moves what? Left or right? Left was smaller, so right means we're growing. Okay, 528 centimeters. What's the conversion rate? We have to choose either 100 over 1 or 1 over 100. We should be getting bigger with the measurement, which means the number should be smaller. We don't need as many meters to cover 528 centimeters. So therefore, we're going to choose 1 over 100. And the other way to remember that is our unit multipliers, to remember that we can cross cancel this way. And now what we're going to be doing is setting up 528 over 100, or dividing by 100, moving the decimal point 2 spots, meaning I end up with 5.28. So you can either do it by setting it up like a unit multiplier, where you're making sure you're canceling correctly. And those are always going to be really, I think they're always one unit multiplier, because you can just use whatever power of 10 is necessary. You can go straight from centimeters. Actually, no, I would always go to the base unit to make it easier on yourself. So if we had 2 centimeters, go to meters first. And then go to, if we're going all the way to kilometers, then I would go to kilometers. So go to your base unit, and then if you're going past the decimal, now you're going to your kilometers. That's how I would do it. And 1,000 meters to a kilometer. I don't know that you're even going to get something this complicated yet, but it's really not that hard 2 over, what would that be, 4 zeros, 10,000. Ends up being 1, 2, 3, 4, 3 zeros, 0.002 kilometers, which makes sense. Shouldn't be very many kilometers. The other way, though, if you're not thinking unit multipliers, just to think logically, if I'm going from centimeters to meters, will my number get bigger or smaller? The number gets smaller because I don't need as many meters to cover that equal distance, right? Just remember that. So maybe write out all 3 practice problems just to make sure you're getting this, because who knows, if you think too hard, then maybe you start to make mistakes. It's really not too difficult. Let the table help you show me those answers and work. Show me just a little work on each of these.